بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. So inshallah, as we get started with today, the Salah Workshop, the purpose of this workshop is to go through everything that you need to know in order to be able to perform this obligation that is from Allah Jalla wa Ala, that makes up the most important ibadah of our life, and that is to perform the Salah. And inshallah, we're going to try to make this interactive as much as we can. So it's not going to be me talking all these hours, putting you guys to sleep, but try to make it interactive so you can also think about it as well. So I don't want you to sit there and just listen. I want you also to try to interact as much as possible, inshallah. Whether it be the sisters downstairs, you can use Menti, and the brothers as well. A lot of it will be on Menti, inshallah, especially the first portion. And then we're also going to be trying to make it practical as well, because Salah is something that we actually do. So it's not going to be sitting down there and not just listening, but inshallah a bit more interaction as well. Bi'idhnillah ta'ala. This is one of the objectives for that, inshallah. Before we get started, I want you to do something very small for me, and that is either you can write this down or you can make a note of it. And I want you to write down, and we're going to revisit this towards the end of the workshop, inshallah. What is your objective for being here today? You don't have to share this with us or anything like that, but just write down on the side of on either on your phone or on a piece of paper and pencil that you have over there, wherever you want, mental note if you wanted. What is your objective? What is the objective of you coming today? What is it, something that you wanted to do? What is your goal from being here today, inshallah? So I'll give you a few moments just to do that, inshallah. Again, inshallah, those of you that are trying to join Menti downstairs, the code is 78187409. Fine. Once you've done that, inshallah, the first thing that I want to look at is when we say the word Salah, when I tell you Salah, pray Salah, what is it? What's the first word that comes up to you? And I'm saying for you personally, not just generally, but for you as a person, when you hear the word Salah, what is the word that comes to your mind? Just put it in one word if you can, one word. So for example, somebody would say prayer, just a translation you could say. They would use the word prayer. Okay, interesting. Somebody used the word Sila. Salah, Sila. Sila means a connection. Sila means a connection. Okay, connection to Allah. The way that we connect to Allah Jalla wa Ala. To worship Allah. Submission to Allah. They can't hear? Is it low or? Oh, okay. So again, just what word comes to your mind when we say the word Salah? Let's have a look at what some of you have written here. So we've got prayer, which is the translation, Sila, which means to have a connection. Somebody else also mentioned connection, to have time with Allah, connect with Allah. Okay, to worship Allah, remembering Allah. So I would say a lot of you speak to Allah. A lot of you have actually, if we were to, because obviously you're all saying different words for the same thing, a lot of you are using this word that was used in Arabic as well, Sila, to connect, to have a relationship with Allah Jalla wa Ala. And that is what makes this act of ibadah so great, because it is a direct form of connection with Allah Jalla wa Ala. And I want you just to imagine for a moment, subhanAllah, how it would be if we had no salah. Imagine you had no salah during your day, there was no salah. And there are people on the earth today that are actually living this. They live the fact that they have no salah. They have no connection with Allah Jalla wa Ala. Yet we have a connection with Allah 5 times a day, every single day without fail. There's no holidays or breaks from this connection with Allah. Something that is part of our process as living. Just as eating and drinking, sleeping, all these things, as-salah is also part of that routine. So this is a very important thing just to start off with, to understand what salah means to us. طيب. Let's move on, inshallah, to the next one. So outline, inshallah, for today, just so that you have an understanding of what we're going to be going through, inshallah. What we're going to be starting off with is just a quick introduction to salah, as we're doing right now. And then, inshallah, we're going to go into the shurut al-salah, or the conditions of salah. Conditions mean something that is a prerequisite. I can't do my salah without having these conditions fulfilled. After that, inshallah, we'll have a quick break. The brothers will bring some tea, coffee, and things like that, inshallah, for those of you that want to. Sisters, you can have, if the kitchen, is it open, inshallah, for the sisters? Okay, that's fine, inshallah. Yeah. So the kitchen for the sisters will be open. They can help themselves there, inshallah. And then after Salat al-Maghrib, we'll go into how to perform the actual salah, going through all the things for about roughly an hour. After that, we'll have a short break, again, just some refreshments. And then we'll go through common misconceptions, go through some scenarios and so on. A general knowledge of salah, meaning some things that is good to know about regarding salah, other than how to pray the salah. And then towards the end, inshallah, we're going to have a salah action plan. A salah action plan, something that you can take away with you today and have a plan for you to go ahead, inshallah. And then we'll finish off with a Q&A, inshallah, any generic questions. We'll have questions throughout as well. So don't worry, don't think like I have to leave all the questions right till the end. But the questions that we have throughout, we're going to try to keep them focused on the topic that we're looking at, inshallah. طيب. So, what is the importance of salah? And here I want you just to mention, you could mention any ayat, you could mention a hadith, something that is a personal benefit that you have seen. What is the importance of salah? When we say the as-salah, we talked about the word itself, what it means to you. But what is the importance of salah? Why is salah important? Why do we need to gather to learn about salah? What is it about salah? طيب, so let's see here we have العهد الذي بيننا وبينهم الصلاة. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in a narration that the covenant that is between us and the non-Muslims, it is salah. Meaning what defines you as a Muslim is the fact that you're praying salah. That's what defines you as a Muslim. Connection to Allah at all times keeps you upright. Okay, again, mentioning about that thing of connection. To cleanse your heart and ask for forgiveness. Again, purifying the self, purifying a person through that connection with Allah Jalla wa Ala. Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. As Allah says in the Quran, that the salah, verily the salah, it forbids a person from doing evil acts and sins, getting closer to Allah, speaking and praying to Allah. طيب. What else do we have here? It is a command from Allah Jalla wa Ala. The second most important action to a Muslim after the Shahada, to go to Jannah is the key to getting to Jannah. So one of the 5 pillars of Islam. The second pillar of Islam is Salah. Okay, again, connecting with Allah. Here we have isti'ana. Okay, I like this one. Allah says, Ya alladhina amanu ista'inu bis-sabri was-salah. That seek help in Allah through sabr and salah. And we're going to get into this, inshallah. Seek help and aid through Allah, to Allah through your salah. Your salah is a means of seeking help. And this is something that we say in the salah all the time. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. That you alone we seek help from. So again, mentioning about connection, I want to see, I like to see when people bring ayat or hadith. Somebody here, إِنَّ الصَّلَاةَ كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ كِتَابًا مَوْقُوتًا. That it is prescribed upon you at the certain times. You have appointments. You have appointments throughout the day. Allah said that this is upon the believer. كَانَتْ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. It is upon the believer that he fulfills all these appointments with Allah Jalla wa Ala. Okay? To be protected. Salah will protect you in the grave. Okay, again mentioning the hadith, the difference between the Muslim and the disbeliever is the salah. We'll be asked about it on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yes, إِنَّ أَوَّلَ مَا يُحَاسَبُ الْعَبْدِ بِهِ الصَّلَاةِ. The first thing that the slave will be asked about or held account about before on Yawm al-Qiyamah, before you asked about how you were with your parents, before you asked about how you kept family ties, how did you give sadaqah, how did you do zakat, did you go for hajj, before you asked about any of these things, how was your manners, What did you do? Where did you get your money from? How did you spend it? Any of these questions before they asked, first thing you're going to be asked about is salah. If the salah is good, inshallah, everything will be good after that. Salah is bad, from there, everything is going down. This is the importance of salah. طيب, let's move on, inshallah, to just some points, obviously, what you've mentioned and things that maybe have not been mentioned. And we'll mention just the ayah or hadith for each one. So the first one is that it is a direct command from Allah. It's part of the tawheed of Allah that we complete the salah. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ. So many times in the Quran this comes, and perform the salah, establish the salah. And here notice that Allah does not say وَصَلُّوا الصَّلَاةَ, pray the salah. Allah says وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. Iqama means establish it, meaning with everything that comes with it. And that is why salah is a full package. I can't just pray, do the actions. Establishing the salah means from the physical aspect, the spiritual aspect, the verbal aspect, all the different aspects, the conditions, the prerequisites, all these things that help you to establish the salah. So that is the first thing. Second thing is that Allah said, or Rasulullah said, it is the first deed that will be judged on Yawm al-Qiyamah, as we just mentioned. It's the first thing that you will be asked about. The third thing is that it distinguishes إن بين الرجل وبين الشرك والكفر ترك الصلاة. That whatever is between a man and shirk and kufr, so here is shirk and kufr and here is the man, that which is between him and is dividing him is the salah. The minute he lives it, فمن تركها فقد كفر. You remove that barrier, you've allowed kufr and shirk to enter into your life. A person has disbelieved. طيب. إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر, that it prevents immorality and evil. Again, it's that barrier, the barrier that prevents the greatest of evils, which is disbelief and shirk in Allah, with Allah, and also prevents that which comes after it. Person wants to go to a haram place. He wants to go to commit something haram during the day, especially during winter. Yeah, there's a party or a rave or something happening. He goes there at 1 o'clock. Just prayed his dhuhr salah, makes his way there. As he's about to go in, it's almost Asr. Let me go pray Asr. He gets, I'll go pray Asr. Oh, yeah, I'll pray Asr, let me go. He goes there. What brings him out? Sunset. I have to pray Maghrib, otherwise I'll miss my Maghrib salah. So this is just one way. But if a person is constantly conscious about salah, it'll make him constantly conscious about Allah Jalla wa'ala. If I tell you have taqwa of Allah and there's no means of having taqwa of Allah, there's no constant relationship with Allah, person will forget about Allah until the end of the day or maybe the end of the month, and then he'll remember Allah. But here we are obliged to remember Allah in those 5 times. So this is the way that it prevents. It is also a means of connection with Allah. There are many hadith. One of the hadith is hadith Qudsi, where it talks about Surah Al-Fatiha, that Allah has said that I've made the salah into nisfain, into 2 halves. One half is my servant glorifying and seeking my praise, and the second half is my servant asking me for whatever he wants. And this is clear in Surah Al-Fatiha, which we recite in every single salah. The first portion of Surah Al-Fatiha, we praise and glorify Allah and we recognize the status of Allah. The last portion of it is what? It's a dua. It's asking Allah. And this is how the salah is a connection to Allah Jalla wa'ala. It is the key to success in the hereafter. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. Allah said the believers are successful. What's the first thing that makes them successful? الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. Those who have khushu', those who have sincerity, and they are focused and concentrated in their salah. And finally, as-salatu nur. The salah is a light for the believer. In the dunya and in the akhirah. In the dunya, it's going to guide you to your life and everything that to the right decisions. And in the akhirah, it's going to be a means of light, literally. We know there's going to be complete darkness. And the only thing that will give you light is not the sun, not a lamp or anything like that, but it is your salah. As-salatu nur. As-salatu nur. And in the time of happiness, it's a means of gratitude, showing gratitude, means of bringing you comfort. That you are happy with what Allah has given you, you pray your salah. Even in times of hardship, we continue to pray the salah to show our sabr. Musa alayhi salam, when he was being in the final stages of his torture, him and his people, under Fir'aun and his people, what did Allah tell them to do? وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةِ, and establish the salah. Why? Because this will bring you out of that difficulty. طيب. So this is just a quick introduction to the importance of salah. Let's move on now. What is the ruling of salah? What is the ruling of salah? The hukum. Hukum. Is salah something that is wajib? Is it compulsory upon you? Is it mustahab? What does mustahab mean? Very quickly, somebody from the shabab. Huh?
If you don't do it, you don't be seen.
Ahsant, barakallah fik. If you do the mustahab action, you will get rewarded for it. But if you miss it out, there's no sin on you. No sin on you. And mubah, no sin if you do it, no reward if you no sin if you do it, no reward if you do it as well or leave it out. So here we unanimous salah is wajibah. Salat wajibah, meaning it is compulsory. You have to pray the salah. There's no if you do it, you'll be rewarded. If you leave it out, you'll be sinful. Right? Moving on. So if you say salah is wajib, who is it wajib upon? Who is salah wajib upon? Upon Muslimin. The salah is wajib upon the Muslimin. Some of when we say the scholars, like we said, because this is a very brief one, we're not going to go through all the different opinions and the different adillah, because that is something that you need plenty of time. This is just going to be like a brief thing, inshallah. So salah is wajib upon the Muslimin. There's my answer there. Jazakallah khair. Let's put that up on the screen. Muslim aqil baligh. Muslim aqil baligh. Salah is wajib upon the Muslim. So it's not wajib upon who? The kafir. طيب, it's wajib upon the one who's aqil, meaning he's got sound mind, which means it's not wajib upon who? It's not wajib upon who? The one who's got mental disability. Yeah, the one who's got mental disability, al-majnoon, al-ma'tu, he's the one that salah is not wajib upon him or her. And baligh meaning he's reached the age of puberty, or as I said, tamyiz, reached the age of puberty. Reaching the age of puberty very quickly. The signs, the most important sign, obviously, the nocturnal dream for the women, that the start of hayd. If they don't have those signs, then many of the scholars mention at the age of 15, he becomes baligh. 15 Islamically, and not according to Gregorian calendar. طيب. Who is excluded from praying the salah? Who is excluded from praying the salah? So we mentioned already, it's not upon the kafir, not upon the one who is mad or who has mental disabilities, and not upon the one who is not reached the age of puberty, meaning not wajib. But there's also another, here we have here, ahsantum, barakallahu feekum. The woman who is on hayd, the salah is not wajib upon her. She's in the time of the month, there's no salah upon her. And likewise, an-nufasa, when she's in nifas, meaning postnatal, after having a child, usually for about 40 days until the blood stops, the salah is not wajib upon her. طيب. In the state of janaba, no. In the state of janaba, you have to do ghusl and you have to pray salah. Salah is still wajib upon you. Salah is still wajib upon you. طيب. Let's move on. So here's an important question. We said that salah is not compulsory upon the child who's not reached puberty. Is salah compulsory upon children, and who is accountable? Is salah, is it? And let's try to get into the details very quickly. Who is salah wajib upon from the children? Hadith Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. علموا أولادكم الصلاة وهم أبناء سبع. Teach them when they are 7 years old, and discipline them when they are at the age of 10. So when at the age of 7, they need to start praying the salah. They have to pray salah. It's not a choice. You need to start praying the salah. But if they miss the salah, who's accountable? Parents. Barakallahu fik. Parents, not the child. Child does not reach the age of puberty. The parent is accountable if the child is missing the salah. When they get to 10, who is still accountable? Parents are still accountable if the child has not reached the age of puberty. If the child has not reached the age of puberty. The child reaches the age of puberty, he becomes accountable. If he's 10 years old and he's not reached the age of puberty, the parent now has the permission to discipline the child. So from 7 years old to 10 years old, motivate them, encourage them. From 10 years old, you start to discipline them. Why? Because 3 years and you're still not listening to me, you're being rebellious. You're being rebellious. And they will thank you for you disciplining them when they get older, 30, 40s, and salah has become part of their routine. It can't become part of their routine if you just leave it in there, up to them. Pray the salah if you want, don't pray the salah if you want. No, you have to pray salah. You go into the masjid, take them with you. You praying at home, yallah, pray with me. Don't let them get away. Don't say, he's playing his games. No, he has to pray the salah with you. You are accountable before Allah for teaching your children to pray the salah. So here we've got very quickly just to see 7 years old. Yes, that's when you should start teaching them the salah. 10 years old is when you're allowed to discipline them in a way that is not obviously harming them. The whole point is to discipline them and to teach them. Once they reach the age of puberty, then they are accountable themselves. Teach them that also, that now you reach the age of puberty, khalas, you are now accountable for every salah. طيب. So very quickly, a summary of these points. Salah is wajib upon every sound-minded, mature Muslim. There's no salah upon the one who is ha'id, or the one who has the woman in her menstruation period, or an-nufasa, the one who is in the postnatal process. And parents are accountable for their children's salah until they reach the age of puberty. طيب. With that, inshallah, we'll get into the conditions or the shurut of salah, the conditions of as-salah. First of all, what do we mean by this word conditions? What does the word conditions mean? Yeah.
Terms.
Like, okay, terms, good. That's a good word. Like, before you buy something, you have to accept the terms. What else? Huh?
Like what state you have to be in to perform the action.
Ahsant, mashallah. So what kind of state do you have to be in order for the action to be able to be valid? Yeah. What validates the salah? If I say, for example, that you can't buy this phone, for example, until you have a certain amount of money in your account. You're not going to get that phone until you have that money in your account. That's what we mean by condition. You will not get it until you achieve that condition. Likewise, salah, without these conditions, you cannot pray the salah. You cannot pray the salah. طيب. So let's have a look at the outline. There are 9 conditions in total, and we're going to go through them, inshallah, one by one. So don't worry if you don't get to write it all down right now. The first 3 we already mentioned: Islam, sound mind, and maturity. These are the things that are affecting the person himself. Islam, sound mind, and maturity. The next one is removal of impurities. Removal of impurities. We're going to get into the details of all this. Wudu, having wudu, or what we say, raf' al-hadath, to remove yourself from the state of impurity. Covering the awrah. The time for salah has entered. Facing the qibla, and having the niyyah. If any of these conditions are not met, the salah will be invalid. You could have all these conditions, but you weren't facing the qibla, for example, salah is invalid. You have all these conditions, but you are not covering your awrah, salah is invalid. So all 9 conditions must be met. طيب. What are the primary personal conditions? We just mentioned these 3. Be a Muslim, be aqil, meaning have sound mind, and be baligh, umayyiz, be somebody who has maturity or reached the age of puberty. طيب. Where do the impurities, one of the condition we said that impurities need to be removed. Where do these impurities need to be removed from? There are 3 places. There are 3 things that the impurity needs to be removed from in order for your salah to be valid. What are they? From the body, from the place of prayer. Somebody's got it here? Clothes. Yeah, those 3 things. From your body, any impurities, and I'm talking about impurities, we're going to quickly get into that. Impurities of the Sharia, not impurities what me and you think. Because you might see something as impure, somebody else sees that as impure. We only care what Allah and His Messenger ﷺ said it is impure. Yeah? That doesn't mean dirty. Yeah? Dirty has different, again, understandings. We have to go back to the Sharia. What is the Sharia saying is najasa? What is impure according to the Sharia? This is what needs to remove from what? From Abdul Hayy, your body, your clothes, and your... No, your legs is part of your body. Your place of prayer, where you're praying. The sujjada, the musalla, the makan that you're going to pray the salah, that place there has to be pure from impurities. So those are the 3 things that we need to remove impurities from. طيب. Now let's see, what do we understand by the word najasa? On the menti, inshallah, you can put here, is it not impure or impure? Remember, I'm talking about impurity that Allah and His Messenger ﷺ told us, not what you think. So you have human waste, that is akramakumullah, feces and urine, mud, dead animals, mucus, dog saliva, human saliva, swine, which is akramakumullah, pork, and everything that is with it, and dust. طيب. All right, so human waste, feces and urine. This najasa in Islam? Is this najasa? Is this impure? This is impure, without any difference of opinion. This is impure. Whether it be urine, akramakumullah, whether it be feces, whether it be that of an adult or a child, whether it be male or female, this is all considered impurity. All of it is considered impurity. Mud. Is mud impure? No, mud is not impure. Even if you go football and you got mud all over your clothes, if you have to pray the salah, is the salah valid? Yes, because mud is not impure. Like dead animals. Animals, what is this? Wal-mayta. Wal-mayta is considered to be from that which is impure. Like mucus. Mucus is that which is your phlegm or whatever comes out from your nose. Is it impure? It's dirty, but doesn't mean it's impure najasa. It's not najasa. Yeah, if there was on my clothes, on my place of prayer, on my body, there's some mucus, it does not make the salah invalid. You understand? We might see as something that's disgusting and that's different. But we're talking about the validity of the salah. The salah is valid if that is present. Like dog saliva. Yes, what? It's impure. Impure. You have dog saliva on your clothes or your body or the place of prayer, it will invalidate the salah. Like human saliva. What about somebody else's human? Another human? What about non-Muslim saliva? No. Non-Muslim saliva, Muslim saliva, any male, female is not going to be impure. طيب. And swine, khinzir, of course, without doubt, this is impure. And finally, dust. I'm praying the sujood is full of dust. Salah is going to be valid? You sure? My salah isn't going to be valid. It's such a dusty place. Huh? Salah is valid. Salah is valid, but obviously it's going to be better for you to clean it. So remember, we're not talking about here, okay, now go and pray in the most muddiest of clothes and find the dustiest place, yeah, where people are spitting. we're not talking about that. We're just talking about the validity. Talking about the validity. طيب. What are the necessary etiquettes for using the toilet to be pure? We're not going to, because of the time, we don't want to go into all the different details. But what are let's focus on the necessity, that which is necessary. When a person goes to use the toilet, akramakallah, whether he goes to do number one, when he pass urine or pass stool, number two, what are the necessary etiquettes? So here we got that he wipes at least 3 times. Okay, if he's going to the toilet, he needs to wipe at least 3 times or more. One, according to, again, we're not going to go into, like I said, the difference of opinions, but some say to wipe once, 3 times more, wipe until aynun najasa. The best thing is to say wipe until aynun najasa, meaning the actual impurity itself has been removed. Yeah, until the impurity itself has been removed. Use water and toilet paper. All right, be quick. Don't spend your time in the toilet. Yeah, to do istinja, which is to clean yourself. Okay, to not to talk during being in the toilet. Again, with that one, depends on obviously the nature of what's happening. But yeah, it's not from the adab, not from the etiquettes. We're going to focus only, like I said, on that which is a necessity. Entering with the left foot and leaving with the right foot. This is from the etiquettes. Sitting down, cleaning yourself with water. Okay, not to make the area messy, not to leave it dirty. Okay, so just a quick one here, so to wipe and to wash. Al-istinja or al-istijmar. When a person wipes the area and he washes it. What is the best thing to do? To wipe and to wash. The best thing to do, wipe and wash. Yarhamukallah. Wipe and wash. That's number one, undoubtedly. If you had a choice, you can either wipe or wash. What do? You wash. If you have a choice, you can either wipe or you can wash. You can't do both. Then you prefer to use water. If there's no water, then it is sufficient for you to wipe, so long as you're able to remove all the impurities. Yeah? But remember, we're going in terms of priority. Undoubtedly, number one, to wipe and wash. Then water only, then wipe only. Okay, but the preference that we can all do, we're living in a country where, alhamdulillah, there's no shortage of water, no shortage of toilet paper and so on. We can do both, wipe and wash. طيب. Avoid, nobody mentioned here, try to avoid pools, public pools, avoid a bath place where you shower, where you take a bath, avoid pathway or shelters. Don't be doing it, on the street or where a place people are going to be sitting down on a bench and so on. Public decency, it's not permissible to use the urinals where people are going to see your aura and you are publicly relieving yourself. And also to avoid taking anything in the toilet with you that is going to be ihana, like for example, the mushaf or something that has a dua on it, something that has ayat of the Quran. Some people may have like a necklace or something with the word Allah, or the woman will have a necklace, the man will have a ring, mentioning the name of Allah or something like this. All those things should be removed before going into the toilet. And of course, the direction. Now, when it comes to direction, very quickly, this comes to when you're doing it in a place that is out. The toilets that we have now, khalas, it's a toilet. It's been built in that place, so there's nothing about the direction. But if you are going out, for example, in the forest or on the side of the road or something like that, try to avoid facing where? Qibla. Either facing or turning behind the Qibla. Keep the Qibla either on your right or on your left. Yeah. If you can work out the Qibla at that time, that's best. But if you knowingly, you should not you should avoid facing the Qibla when you're doing that. When you're outside in the on the outskirts, or if you're doing it in a area that is not, there's no designed toilet, fixed toilet. طيب. How can you remove human waste? So we're not talking about istinja now. We'll finish that. If you have human waste on either your clothes or body or place of thing, how is it that you need to remove it? In what way can you remove it? Wash the place with water. This is a given. The man who came into Masjid al-Nabawi and he urinated in the corner, Rasulullah said, follow up with a bucket of water. طيب. You can wash it off. You can use soap. All these things. What is the condition? The main thing is that the place, or the ayn, as we call it, ayn al-najasa, meaning the solid part of it is removed. So for example, if it's feces, akramakumullah, it needs to be physically removed so that there is no longer, you can no longer see it or smell it. If after you removed it, there's like the residue of it, and you've tried hard to remove it, then the salah is valid. The salah is valid. So long as you try to remove aynun najasa. You understand what I mean by aynun najasa? Meaning the actual solid part of it. The solid part of the impurity. If you're able to remove that and try to remove it completely so that there's no smell anymore, or that is you can no longer see it, then that becomes pure after that. When it comes to something like urine, again, if the color remains, but you're able to wash it as much as you can to remove the smell, to remove the actual substance of it, then this suffices. Again, I'm not talking about what is best. What is best is to completely remove it. But I'm talking about in a situation where you don't have that necessity, you don't have that privilege to do such a thing. You're out in the middle of the road and you have that. You try to remove as much as you can from it. طيب. How do you remove dog saliva? How do you remove dog saliva? How can you remove dog saliva? Does it not come onto your screens yet? How can we remove dog saliva? So you're about to pray salah and you see that there's dog saliva, or a dog came by and licked your clothes, for example. How are you able to remove this? I can't change my clothes, but how does the Sharia teach me to wash it? Wash 7 times? 3 times, 7 times.
Wash the first time with mud or soil, then the 6 times after that with water.
Ahsan, barakallah. Close. First time with turab or with dirt, and that's 7. Yeah, 7 times after that with water. Like whether you do the turab at the start or the end, both are fine, or in the middle. The point is that one needs to be there. Obviously, it makes sense to put the turab first, or to put the soil first, so that you can wash it after that. If you use, for example, soap or detergent or something like that, that's fine also. Instead of using turab, a person can use soap or detergent or something like that. That's also fine, inshallah. And he washes it 7 times. Yeah. Okay, I washed it 2 times and it's gone. Is it enough? No, because why? Because this is a spiritual cleansing. This is a shar'i, spiritual cleansing also. Yeah, the 7 times is because it's something that to remove that specific najasa, which is the dog saliva. Anything else? No, I don't have to wash, for example, akramakumullah, feces or something like that 7 times. I only wash it until it's removed. Yeah. So first time with dirt or with soap or detergent, and 7 times with water. Like, how can you remove any impurities from your shoes? You're walking on the streets and you get impurities on your shoes. How are you able to remove this? Go on, Abdul Hayy, Haji, hand up. Wipe on grass. Ahsant, mashallah. Good. That's exactly what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said. And Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when you come to the masjid, because they used to pray, they didn't have carpets, so they would pray with their shoes on. He said, when you come to the masjid, what did he say? Remove your shoes? No. He said, let him check your shoes, meaning look at the underside, what do you call it? The outside of the shoes. Not the sole, what's it called? The undersole. The heel. Is it heel? Sure, there's another, the back, the outside of the shoes, what do we call it? Sole? No, sole is in the inside. Al-Muhim, this outside bit here, the bottom of the shoe. Bottom of the shoe, yani. So look at the bottom of the shoe. If you can see impurities on there, then all you have to do is simply wipe it. All you simply have to do is wipe it onto the earth. Like Abdul Hayy said, on the grass. Mostly in the UK, we have grass. If you go to, for example, Middle East or something like that, or North Africa, where there's deserts and things, it can be on the sand, on the mud, wherever. Remove it using the earth. And then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, وَصَلُّوا بِهَا, and pray in it. You can pray the salah in it, so long as you have removed that najasa using the earth. So you don't have to wash it off. If you want to wash it off, that's up to you, but it suffices to remove it using the earth. So wipe on grass, on leaves, anything like that, inshallah, that's fine. If you were to wash it off as well, that's also better, if you have the ability to do so. طيب. How can you remove impurities? And this is for the sisters who've been commanded to wear the abaya, that it goes past the ankles. The men wear their clothes above the ankles, but if the woman is wearing the abaya that goes past the ankles, and she gets, for example, impurities on there, how does she cleanse it? How does she purify it from impurities?
Give it a quick wash.
Give it a quick wash. Okay. Just the part that was affected.
It's fine if it has touched the hands.
Ahsant, mashallah. Yeah, this is a hadith of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that if she's walking, the ground that is after the najasa purifies it. The ground that is after the najasa purifies it. Let's say, for example, akramakum Allah, she's walking, and the abaya or the jilbab, it goes past urine or something like that. And then as she's walking, there's mud, there's sand, and all this is getting wiped across. This is enough for the salah to be valid. Of course, if you have the opportunity to wash it off, that's better. But we're talking about validity of salah. It is enough for the earth that comes after it, as the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam told the woman, that the earth that comes after it is enough to cleanse it.
What about like in the UK?
Yeah.
Let's say you go in a lift, dirty, and then the next step is still dirty. Is it gonna?
You mean if you're inside a building?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're inside a building, that's different, because it's not earth, is it? It's whatever, tile or something like that. Or, they're talking about if you're walking out on the street and you have the ground or the earth, the natural earth. That is what was going to purify the natural earth. Right. Let's move on, inshallah, to the next part. Put the necessary actions of wudu in correct order. So I've started off just with the necessary actions, that which is wajib from wudu. Put them in order of what they should be. How should you start off? Those of you that don't have, you can feel free to shout out. What's the first thing we need to do? Huh? I think we might need to shout out, because some people, it looks like we're making a few mistakes. First thing is intention, niyyah. I can't start washing my body parts without having the niyyah, without having the intention of making wudu. Once I have the niyyah, what's the next thing I need to do? Huh? No, we're talking about wajib only. Yeah, we'll get into the full description of wudu, but right now we're talking about wajib. What's obligatory? يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا قمتم إلى الصلاة. If you stand up for prayer, فاغسلوا. First wash your face. Huh? Then after that, وأيديكم. Then your hands and your arms. وامسحوا. And then wipe over your رؤوسكم, over your heads. وأرجلكم. And your feet. Wash your feet at the end. وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. طيب, so this is the order here. Niyyah. Yeah, somebody messed it up for us. The first one is niyyah, and then washing the face, then washing hands and arms, then wiping over the head and washing the feet. Remember, we're talking about obligatory acts. We're going to get into the full description of wudu. But if you have to just stick with the obligatory acts, this is the way. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, when you stand for salah, wash your face, wash your hands until your elbows, wipe over your head, and wash your feet until your ankles. طيب. Now, just to quickly put that in summary. Number one, you have the niyyah. Number two, he said wash the face. Now, to get out of the ikhtilaf, as we say, خروجا من الخلاف, to save yourself from the difference of opinion with the scholars, it is better that you include your nose and your mouth. Some scholars said no, you wash your face, wudu is enough, like the Shafi'i madhab. But some like the Hanabila, they said nose and mouth is included. You don't wash the nose and mouth, meaning you don't gargle, you don't rinse the mouth, nose out, then you've not completed the obligatory act. So we say best to be on the safe side and rinse the mouth and nose as well. Wash the arms from the fingertips right down to the elbows. Do I do the elbows, or is it enough to do it before the elbows? Include the elbows also. Include the elbows also. Dry elbow, meaning salah wudu is invalid. After that, wipe over the head. How many? Again, this is all one time. The sunnah is to do 3 times, but the sunnah for wiping the head is 1 time only. Like, how much of the head do I need to wipe over? From the front of the hairline, right till the back. Yeah, till the tip of the forehead, right till the back. So the Shafi'i madhab, they say you can do just a quarter or just a section of the head. Again, we say just to get out of the khilaf, just wipe over the entire head. And also ears is the sunnah. To also include the ears is sunnah. But person wiping over the head is suffices for the wajib. After that, wash the feet from where to where? From the toes right till the ankles. If my ankles are dry, is a wudu valid? No, ankles need to be wet. And also another place that is left out is the heel. Yeah, so when you make sure that the water reaches the heel, the back of your foot, the heel, wash that bit there. Both sides of the ankle, on both sides, make sure both of them are wet. And another obligation of wudu is for it to be in order and together. What do we mean by order? The order that was mentioned in the Quran. What do we mean by together? Back to back. Make sure you do it all one time. I don't wash my face, go my hands, go read a few a newspaper or something, come back, continue. No, it has to all be done in one go. All done in one go. Yeah? Back to back. Like, this is what we talk about when we say the obligations of al-wudu. Like, how to perform wudu. How do we actually perform wudu according to the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How we should be trying to do wudu all the time. And that is to, what do we start off with? What's the first thing that we do? Bismillah. Say Bismillah. And your intention. Intention is something that I have to say. I have to say, Allahumma inni nawaitul wudu. No, where's the intention from? From the heart. The heart, from the heart. Some of the ulama of the Shafi'i madhab, they said you have to actually mention the niyyah, but even they say mahalluha al-qalb. It comes from the heart. So you start off by saying Bismillah. Yeah, Samillah. You say Bismillah. I don't say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I don't say Bismillah wa ala barakatillah. Bismillah. The Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Bismillah, we say Bismillah. Khalas. Yeah. You start with Bismillah. What's the first thing that you need to do?
Niyyah.
After the niyyah, what's the first thing that you're going to be washing now? Wash your hands. Washing your hands meaning from your fingertips till your wrists. And we start off with the The right hand, at-tayammum. Start off with the right hand and the left hand. And how many times do we do this? 3 times. That's the sunnah. Start off by washing your hands 3 times. After that, what do we wash? The mouth and the nose. The sunnah is to do mouth and nose in, if you can do it in one. So you take the water in the mouth and a section of it in the nose, sniffle it up, and then remove everything. Yeah? To do that. And how many times do you do this? 3 times. Do it 3 times. If you need to do it more just to remove the impurity or the, not impurities, but the dirt from your nose, the mucus, whatever, then that's fine. If you have to remove anything that you had from there. Don't think that I have to do it 3 times and khalas, if there's anything there, I'll leave it there. No. Remove what you have to remove from there. Like, if you're to do it separately, mouth and then nose, that's fine as well. But the sunnah is to try to do both, al-istinshaq, and also try to do al-mubalagha, which means to try to thoroughly wash it out. This is, subhanAllah, look how Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam taught us 1,400 years ago how to be very clean. Al-mubalagha, try to excessively do so. Excessively rinse out your mouth and your nose. When should you not do this? Huh?
When it's dangerous, like the water, it goes dangerous.
If the water's going to cause danger to you, don't use the water. When you're fasting, barakallah fik. When you're fasting, don't do al-mubalagha. Don't do too much. Just do the bare minimum. But after you've done that 3 times, next, what do? You wash your face entirely. From where? From the tip of where the hairline starts, or the top of the forehead, right down to the neck, chest, chin. Yeah, right down to the chin. And from side to side, where do I go? From the ear, where the ear starts to where the other ear starts, completely washing the face. If I have a beard, what do I need to do? Also wash the beard. If I have a very thick beard, it's enough for me to put my fingers through, and that's enough for somebody that has a very thick beard. If you have a beard like mine, which is light, then you can wash the entire beard. Right? After that, how many times do I do that? 3 times washing the face. After wash the face, what do we do next? Wash the hands and the arms again. Not just the arms. Hands and the arms. So you take the water into your hand. Again, starting from where? Fingertips. And going down where? To your elbow. I start with which hand? Right hand 3 times, and then my left hand. Yeah? Like if I have a very big watch, or the woman has some sort of thing, can she do wudu with that on? If the water is not reaching underneath, then you have to take it out. If it's, for example, a tight watch or something like that, and the water won't go under there, you have to take it out. But if the water is able to pass through, then it's fine to leave it on. After you've washed your hands and your arms, you do masih. Do I pour it on my head? Do I get the water, splash it on my head? Wipe. Yeah, wamsahu. Wipe means you have wet hands. The hands that you have that are wet, you simply drag it over from the top right down to the back, and then back over again. Yeah, so you got 2. You can either go from the top all the way like this, and then you go to the ears, or you can go over back, come back again, and then wipe the ears. Yeah, is it sunnah to do this 3 times? You're going against the sunnah if you do it 3 times. The sunnah is to do it once. Sunnah is to do it 1 time only. Like after you've completed wiping over the head and the ear, you wipe the feet. Listen carefully to what I'm saying. Do you wipe the feet? You don't wipe the feet. What do you do? Pay attention to the verbs. Wash. Jazakallah khair. Wash the feet. You wash the feet starting with the right foot, from the toes, in between the toes, right till the ankles. Imam Malik said if you don't wash between the toes, it's invalid. Invalid. The wudu is invalid if a person doesn't wash between the toes. So you wash between the toes and include both ankles and also the heel. How many times? 3 times on the right, 3 times on the left. 3 times on the right and 3 times on the left. Okay. If I want, can I wash till my knees if I wanted to? If I wanted to like wash and go up to my knees. Why not? Ahsant. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he taught us how to do wudu, so there's no need for you to go up until the knees. There's a hadith of Abu Hurairah, and it's mentioned in Umdatul Ahkam, where he said that I based on what he understood from Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that person will come and the excessiveness of his wudu will shine on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So he would go further up and wipe all his till here, and he would wipe the feet up until his knees. We say this is something that was only understanding of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, but we stick to what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did and what the consensus of the Sahaba was, and that is the portion that Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wiped and washed. So this is the entire wudu from start to end. Once you've finished that, what is it that we do? You do the dua, which is you can do the shahada. There's another dua. Anybody know? أحسنت بارك الله فيك. اللهم اجعلني من التوابين واجعلني من المطهرين. Oh Allah, make me from those who are constantly repenting to you and those who purify themselves. Why? Because Allah loves those who purify themselves. طيب. So this is the sunnah method of wudu that we should all try to do. Like I said, what we mentioned before was the obligations.
What about the case of socks or shoes?
We're going to get to that now, inshallah.
Sheikh, please.
Yeah,
For the basmala.
basmala.
In the confined toilet, like in the UK.
If you're in the toilet place, then it's enough to say tasmiyah under your breath.
Okay.
You're just using your lips like that, without saying it loudly because you're in a place where there's a toilet. So it's enough for you to say it on your lips, not in your mind. Always on your lips, like that. Yeah. طيب, nullifiers of wudu. What will nullify the wudu? Anything that comes out from both passages, the back passage, the front passage. Anything that comes out, the correct opinion, whatever it is that comes out, invalidates the wudu. You need to make wudu again. You sneeze from your front passage. You don't sneeze is from. I'm talking about the front passage, meaning the private parts. Yeah. If you sneeze and something comes out from the private part, then yeah, you have to make wudu. Right. So that's a good question. Somebody might think talking about this passage here. The front passage meaning where you pass urine from, the back passage where you pass stools from. Both, anything that comes out from there, al-kharij min as-sabilain, whatever comes out, invalidates the wudu. Losing consciousness. That could be either somebody becoming mentally disabled, may Allah save us, or somebody losing consciousness. You fainted. You fainted, you got up. Even if it was for a few moments, few seconds, whatever it was, you have to make your wudu again. Touching the private part with the hand. And when you say touching the private part, meaning that which is touched with this part here. Yeah? Batin al-yad, as we call it. The inside of the hand. If it's touched with this part or any other part of the body, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Right? Some of the scholars, and again, we're gonna stick to the majority. We're not gonna go through the differences of opinion. Some said that it has to be done, with shahwa, with desire. Otherwise, just touching it like that doesn't invalidate the wudu. Eating camel meat, according to the correct opinion, somebody eating camel meat, whether you have it raw, whether you have it well done, medium, whatever, whether you have the intestines, whether you have the stomach, whether you have the head, or the tail, whatever you have of it, that will mean you have to make wudu. If you have the milk of the camel, that's fine. That's not going to invalidate the wudu. Sorry? No, consuming it, yeah. Okay, leaving Islam, wal-'iyadhu billah. If a person left Islam, when he comes back to the deen, he has to make his wudu again. His wudu becomes invalid. Like, there's a few things here that we haven't mentioned, and the reason why I've not mentioned them is because they're different. They're things that are different such as bleeding. Some said that if you bleed excessively, this nullifies the wudu. Some say if it's even as a little bit. But the correct opinion, wallahu a'lam, is that if a person has dam yasir, just a little bit of blood, then that would not invalidate the wudu. Vomiting, the correct opinion, and this is the opinion of Imam al-Shafi'i, there's no evidence to say that a person vomiting has nullified the wudu. Those that said it nullifies, they said because now it's impure, it's najasa that's come out, so it's impure, so you have to make wudu. Touching the opposite, awla mastumun nisa, touching the opposite gender, does it break the wudu? There's a difference in opinion, starting from just touching, just making skin contact. I'm not talking about clothes, no, actually making contact with the skin. That would invalidate the wudu according to the Shafi'i madhab. Some went further to say, no, it has to be touching with desire. Some went further to say that if you touch with desire and something comes out, yeah, the pre-seminal fluid or something like that, comes out from the passage, that would nullify the wudu. Okay, so again, the awsat or the majority of these opinions is that you touch with desire. if you touch the opposite gender with desire, to make wudu. طيب? And that is obviously the safer option as well. The opinion of Imam Shafi'i is the most strict, that even if it's touched accidentally like this, if you made skin contact, you have to perform wudu. طيب. Yeah. Sleeping, yeah, losing consciousness, whether it be sleeping or fainting, that would I think we'll get into that one inshallah at the end if we have time inshallah. But how much long we have left for salah? About 10 minutes. Like, how to wipe over the socks very quickly. I'm not going to go too long into this. First of all, you need to put the socks on in the state of tahara, meaning you have wudu on, you washed your feet. After you washed, you did full wudu, and then you placed your socks on. Now you can wipe over the socks if you were to break the wudu. The socks must cover the area of wudu. Those ankle socks or trainer socks, whatever you get that are going to slip down and expose the ankle, those cannot be performed. You can't perform wudu in, and neither can you perform wudu in that which is shaffaf, which is like completely see-through or thin, like the tights, the tights that the women wear. That cannot be wiped over. طيب? So there's a difference in opinion. The majority of the scholars say that it has to be something that you can walk in, something that you can actually walk in. If you can walk in it and it's not going to come down, or it's not going to come out completely, then you can wipe over those socks. Some obviously go into the opinion that it has to be waterproof. The opinion that I take is that there's no evidence to say this, that it has to be waterproof. And I don't think that the Sahaba, they had different types of socks. Some of them had holes in their socks, and they would, as Sufyan al-Thawri said, their socks were full of holes, meaning that's how the condition of the Sahaba that they were in. But are you able to walk in these socks? That's the main point. I don't think they had the technology of having waterproof cotton socks or anything like that. But obviously, we respect the opinion of those that say it can only be wiped over. That's the ijtihad of the Imam, that it can only be wiped over leather socks, for example, or if the sock is made out of cotton, it needs to be waterproof and so on. But the opinion that I take, wallahu a'lam, is the opinion that so long as it's covering the area of wudu, not ankle socks, not tights or something like that, then you can wipe over those socks, inshallah. Yeah, and no problem with that. It must be obviously tahir. It has to. You can't have pigskin socks or something like that. That would be impermissible for you to wear. Therefore, impermissible for you to wipe over. There's a time frame for this. The person who is at home, one day, the one who is a traveler, 3 days. What nullifies the wiping over the socks? First thing, taking it off. You take the socks off, khalas, you can't put them back on now and wipe over. If you take them off, then it becomes nullified. If you go into the state of janaba, or the woman goes into hayd or nifas, she can't keep the socks on and wipe over. You have to make complete ghusl, which means you have to remove the socks. You can't do ghusl and then wipe over the socks.
Taking them off, but you still have wudu.
Yeah. Yeah. So the difference in opinion, the Shafi'is, they say that if you took the socks off, khalas, that's it, invalidates the thing. Others said that no, you're still in the state of tahara. It has not nullified your wudu, and this is the more sound opinion in what I see, wallahu alam, and this is what I follow. Is if I took the socks off and I'm still in the state of tahara, I'm still in the state of wudu, and I put fresh socks on, that's fine, because I've not invalidated the wudu. Yeah, removing socks doesn't invalidate the wudu. But some scholars said no, you remove the socks, khalas, you have to. Next time you do wudu, now you have to wash your feet. Right? Sorry?
Is it just wipe like this?
Oh yeah, sorry. How to wipe over? Your wet hands, don't soak them. You don't have to wash them. With your wet hands, you start from the top and at the top of the feet, not underneath, not on the side. From the top and go upwards. From the top and go and once only once. Right and then left, both together. That's fine. Right and then left, both together. That's fine. Don't wipe underneath. Some of the scholars said it's mustahab to wipe underneath, but we say there's no dalil for that. Ali radiallahu anhu, what did he say? If we follow our logic, we would wipe under the socks, but we follow the sunnah, so we wipe over the socks. Over. Yeah?
Not here, it's not behind.
Not behind, no. Just under, from the top here where the toes are, you drag your hand right to the top. Yeah? طيب. What is the awrah for men and women very quickly? Sorry? So for the man, from the belly button till the knee, that is the awrah. Yeah, salam wa rahmatullah. The awrah for the man is from the belly button of the navel to the bottom of the knee, with bearing in mind the difference of opinion whether the knee is counted or not. Safer opinion is to make sure the knee is covered and the navel or the belly button. Does that mean that you pray in salah like that in your 3/4 shorts? No, it's disliked. Rather, you should cover also the shoulders. Cover the shoulders and the chest. And Nafi' once he was praying salah and he had like the rida, not the izar, sorry, just like this. And Abdullah ibn Umar, I think it was, he said to him, would you be happy if I sent you to the king or to somebody of authority? Would you be happy to go and present yourself like this in front of him? He said no. So he said, well, how can you present yourself before your Lord in this manner? Yeah. Yeah. If the like intentionally you got like a hole there, if the aura is exposed, then this is invalidating the invalidating that condition. If it is tight, and we'll get to these questions inshallah at the end when we get time. If it is tight, the correct opinion is that it's still valid but is disliked. If it is tight and see-through that you can see the aura, invalidated. Men and women. If it's tight that you can see the aura and it's see-through, for example, that would invalidate. If it was just tight, we say this is disliked and you shouldn't be wearing clothes like this, but the salah would still be valid. You've done the minimum of covering the part of aura. Like for the women, entire body except, somebody mentioned here, except for the face and the hands, according to the correct opinion, inshallah. Face and the hands, if they are for the women, should be uncovered. The entire body should be covered apart from the face and the hands. Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he mentioned also the feet. So if the feet are uncovered, then that's fine. Some of the scholars said so long as the feet are covered when she stands, and if she was to go into sujood and the soles were to be exposed, but we say the best thing to do is for the woman to cover the feet. Like we said, we're only looking at that which is the majority and what is the safest opinion. Best to cover the feet and only have the face and the hands exposed. Right. Moving on. We'll have to continue. I think how long we have left for salah? We have about 2 minutes. Right. Dukhul al-waqt, the time of the salah needs to enter, meaning I cannot pray the salah before time has entered or after the time has entered. You have to have the condition in the salat kanat al-mu'minin al-kitaba mawquta, that the salah is at prescribed fixed times. We need to ensure that the salah is prayed at the fixed times. Right. Moving on. Inshallah, after salah, we'll go through the times of salah. Facing the qibla. First of all, if you're in an area where you don't know where the qibla is, you should do your due diligence. Try to ask about it. Try to calculate it to ensure that you're praying in the right direction. If you knowingly pray, like we said, it's a condition. It's a condition. Therefore, if you knowingly pray and other than the qibla, the salah is invalid. Knowingly pray that the salah is not in the right direction, the salah is invalid. You prayed salah and you found out afterwards, you didn't ask, you just prayed salah, you found out afterwards you're in the wrong direction. Should you repeat the salah? Correct opinion is that you should repeat the salah, especially if it's in the time frame. It's in the time frame. And if you didn't do any due diligence to try to find the right time. Accuracy, the ulama, they say, and I know now we have like iPhones, so you get 121 degrees, whatever it is, you get the exact direction. But we remember the ulama, they use the hadith that this is a ummah ummiyah. This is a ummah that is unread. We are not obliged to be very accurate with these things. When they went and they traveled, they calculated the qibla, and that's why some of the scholars, they give the leeway of 45 degrees each way. If we were to pray here in this masjid, Bismillah, the qibla is this way. Like out of convenience, if it helped to pray this way, like this, straight, the salah would be valid. Yeah, we could put especially people who are building masajid, don't try to do it in a way that is best for the masjid. Don't try or have to be exactly accurate. Make sure exactly we're facing like this. This is not from the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that we're not like this. We're not too accurate and we're worried about too many details. Oh, we're slightly off. No, there's that leeway to so long as you're facing in the general direction. طيب. Inshallah, we'll finish there. Inshallah, we'll continue after salah. But that was the final one, the niyyah, to have the niyyah from your heart, to be sincere and aware during your salah. and you're not just doing things out of action. طيب, we'll finish there inshallah, and we'll continue after Salah inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.